Yes, it works very well. And now it's the 11th or 12th year. So a lot of the people, a lot of the crew, they have been there from the start. And also Walter and Andy, of course, and me. But it works very well, I think. It could be very cold. And that's not so nice. Because when it's snowing and raining in Gotland, it's snowing this way. So it's completely crazy. But I think it works very well. Well, as in every crime, you need a pathologist who solved all the crimes. I think I'm the one who solved it all the time. I used to tell Walter about that, but he said, no, it's me. But I have the evidence all the time. And we don't know so much about Eva and her private life. I have a dog. I think, because I said in one episode that I will go home and go out with my dog. And she's not married, and she loves her work. She loves to solve things and to go into everything and try to find evidence so we can solve the murder. Yes, I think so. I think it's that. Well, we solve it together, but it's important that you have the evidence from the dead body. So that's my thing to find out. The challenge is, well, sometimes we don't know what we are talking about. Well, of course we do, because we read the scene and the script before, but yes, it's a challenge to not always understand what the other actor is telling you. Of course, I understand some German after all these years, and Walter is very good of understanding Swedish.
Oh, that's interesting, yes.
But it's a very special way of acting. But I think it goes very well. But it's difficult to listen to myself talking German. It's not me, I think, but it is me, but not me.
Yes.
Well, sometimes I can say so stupid things and no one understands. That's funny for me. And once the director said, oh, that was the best, that was good, so much feeling and everything. And then I was just, what I say, blurring in the text. I didn't say anything that was right, but the feeling was good. But I told him, you can't keep this, because the one who's going to translate everything, they will really, oh my God, is that what she's talking about? And it doesn't go together with the script. So.
Yes.
We always talk English.
Okay.
But also it's a mix between English and Swedish. Because now it's a lot of Swedish actors and also some Swedish people behind the camera, and of course the whole crew talk in German, so it's mixed sometimes. And yeah, we know, for example, when we should do the scene, we read the scene in English, and then we read it in our own language, and yes, we understand, but it's sometimes it's a mix of everything. And my first year when we were shooting, when I came home in the evening, I was so tired because I have all this language, in my head, and I was also so afraid to miss something. Did it say it in English? No, that was German. Oh, it's not for me. Oh, no, somebody says something in Swedish. Is that for me? no, should I listen now? No. Oh, what? I was so tired because I was so concentrated in just listening.
Yes.
If it was something for me. And of course I understand some German. I'm bad of talking, but I'm trying. But to be sure that you got the right information when we're shooting a scene, I always tell them, okay, but please tell me in English. So I don't miss anything,
Okay.
even if I understood. It was good. It's a small town, of course, and it was, when I got the part to play Pippi, of course, a lot of people, everybody knows it, and that changed a lot. But for me, it was, I really liked growing up there. No, my parents, my father, he was a journalist, and my mother, she was working at the hospital. So it was no one who was acting. Yes, it was, I think it was in the end of July or August 1967, which is a very long time, but I'm still 35. Yeah. So, but they were asking on television, and at that time it was only one channel in Sweden, one channel. So everybody saw everything. And they were asking for 3 children who could play Pippi, Tommy and Annika. And I remember my father, he looked at me and then he said, well, how about that? Do you want that we send a photo of you and you want to do that, something like that? And I said, yes, why not? And at that time I got this, like I have now, kind of, I don't know if it's herpes or whatever it is, but because of the sun. So my mother, she said, no, you can't take a photo of her when she looked like this and send it to Stockholm. We will be ashamed. No, you have to wait. So we were waiting, and this didn't disappear. So my father, he has to take this photo, and I still have it. I look terrible in the photo with this big thing here. But then they were going around the whole Sweden, and they met all children. I think the children they thought could be possible to play the parts. So they were coming to a town very close to us, and I met the first assistant director, and we did some improvisations. And after that, I had to go to Stockholm for a kind of audition in front of the camera, and I think I did that 3 times or something before I was chosen, or they have decided. Yes, I know from the beginning they said that it was like 8,000 girls, or 8,000, but I think they try every girl for the Pippi part. Because I know Maria, who was playing Annika, she told me that she was trying for Pippi, but then they wanted her to play Annika. No, I met them first when they have chosen us. I don't know why, because maybe I don't know why. They didn't want us to meet. I think it's better they choose us separately. I think so. I know it was a little bit different for Per, because they told him, no, you're not supposed to play the part. And then they changed and say, yes, now we want you. And I don't know why. He always talk about that. Well, they choose me. I was the latest one to come into the production.
Yeah.
But I think when you are shooting this kind of movie and with children, first of all, you have to find the children that is good for the part.
Yes.
And then you have to see that we goes together.
That's very true, yes.
That we are matching each other. We can't have a very tall Pippi with a very short Tommy and
Exactly.
or a very, very tall Annika. We had to be almost the same age. And also Per, he got dark hair. So they have to color his hair.
Oh, okay.
In the book, Annika is the one who got light. She's blonde, and Tommy is dark. But they thought that Per would look better in blonde hair. And I remember he was like, no, I don't want to have blonde hair. He was like, he's 1 year older than me, so he was 9 or something when we started. And maybe it wasn't so nice for a young boy at that time to have color in their hair. Today it's nothing. Everybody
That's very true.
different colors.
Yes.
Oh, that was interesting because they told my parents that I got the part. And they had to be silent for 14 days or something. And then they told me and my brothers, and they told us, you are not supposed to say anything for 14 days. So probably they didn't trust us to be silent for 1 month. So that's why they were keeping it as a secret. But we 3 children, we were silent for 14 days. And then they were going to tell this on television, on the news.
Oh.
And I remember when it was, because my uncle, he got his 50th birthday. So it was a big party for him. And we know that they were going to tell this on the news. And my father, he rented a small television that we can see out in the kind of foyer at this place. And all of us, we were going out from the party, and especially all my cousins and all children, because to be on television at that time, it was so big, so big.
Yes, I can imagine. Yes.
And we were watching this black and white television, and it was very, how do you say, blurring. We didn't see. But then they mentioned my name, and they said that now we have chosen a girl who should play Pippi, and that will be whatever it was. So that's a memory I have. We all went out to the foyer. It's so stupid, we could all have just took the television inside, but no, nobody has to know, but everybody wanted to know. Yeah, so crazy. Oh, no, we were not, we were not allowed to read the script. So I never read the script. That was the trick, I think, from the director. He didn't want us to learn anything
beforehand.
Before we were shooting. So when we should shoot a scene, he just called us and said, please come here, Inger, Per and Maria. And in this scene, we are going to do like this. You go there, and then you stop there, and you turn to him, and you say this line. Say after me, please. And I did. And then he will answer, please say after me. And then we were rehearsing in front of the camera, and then we were shooting. Sometimes it was because Pippi, she talks a little bit funny in one way. I had sometimes very long lines, and I didn't remember that, but I know the Per, he told me some years after, you had problem to remember your lines. I said, did I? Because for me, I didn't remember that, but it was difficult. And he said, I understood that it was difficult for you because your lines were so long and
complex, maybe.
yes,
because of the way
she's
spoke.
talking a little bit old Swedish, strange words sometimes. But it works. I don't remember exactly the first day, but I remember we started shooting in Norway. We took the winter scenes, and I remember I was ill the first day, so I couldn't go with all the others. So I was coming one day later or something like that, and I just remember it was very, very cold, and I had a lot of clothes on.
Oh yes.
But I didn't remember the first day. I remember it was very funny to stay at a hotel. It was the first time I was in a hotel and things like that.
Yes, things that normally would intrigue, a 9-year-old
Yes,
about the whole
and
experience. Yes.
I know when we finished after 14 days in Norway, we had a kind of party. And that for me was, we are going to have a party. And that was special. After that, I was at home, I think, 2-3 weeks, maybe 14 days. And then we start shooting in Stockholm in the studio the whole spring. And then we went to Gotland for outside. And in Stockholm, it's the Pippi house and the house of Tommy and Annika inside.
Oh, okay.
And outside is Scotland for the house of Pippi, and for the house of Tommy and Annika, it's a little bit outside Stockholm. So when we are going in from one house to another, we are just going over the water in 30 seconds, Stockholm, Gotland, around like this.
Yes. That's interesting. I never knew that the inside part was actually really filmed in Stockholm.
I think almost all inside parts are from the studio. Also the shop where we were eating all these candies, it was built inside, but outside is Scotland.
Yes.
And outside it's just a normal home. They just made a sign outside that it's candy shop.
Imagine that it can be very overwhelming. It's a completely new experience.
For me, I think that was most difficult for me was that I had to be away from my family.
Oh, yes.
I was calling home for every night. We had a teacher with us, or she was more like a nanny, and we were staying together in one apartment in Stockholm, the three of us and our nanny. And in the afternoon, when we weren't shooting, we should do our homework. And I think we did sometimes, sometimes not. But that in the evenings, I was always calling home and talk to my mother. And but to be in front of the camera, that was I thought it was fun. But of course, as a child, you are just running around, and in these big studios, I always ran away. And I remember the growing up people, they were all the time, they were shouting after me, please Inger, stay here, don't go far, you will be in front of the camera now, and please don't get dirty. Because I just have to go out, and then I was out and running around, and then I was getting dirty, so they had to change the clothes all the time.
That's interesting. Also that the studio is actually that big, but of course, I mean,
Yeah, I loved to go in where the big wardrobe there. It was so nice to watching all these clothes, and I was just going there and look at every nice dresses. And then somebody opened the door and shouted, "Are you here? Where are you? Where are you?" "Oh, I'm here. Oh, you're supposed to be in the studio now."